Hello Scorpio, this is a timeless weekend quickie reading for you, even though timeless and weekend sounds contradictive, but sometimes, or recently I already felt like I just want to do some small readings for the weekends in between, but I also at the same time don't want to put any strict timings onto these readings, because I have learned that with my visions and tarot readings often they unfold or come true after 2 years or even longer than that. So some tarot readers, they are really good at putting these strict timings onto their readings, but with my readings I have learned that it doesn't always work, so I just keep them open, keep them timeless. And this reading might find you when you need to hear it. It could also find you at this moment and it doesn't resonate yet. It could also just partially resonate, that I will be speaking about something that is on your mind already but hasn't really come into your life or unfolded in your life, and it could even take several years or months until it does. And in some cases, it might find you now and immediately resonate, so that could vary so strongly. I will just keep all that open to you. Also, what I want to say is that I'm using my own tarot cards, the medieval oracle cards, and I think that's so far everything for this intro. I'm having the problem again with getting the image sharp. This is so annoying. Sorry for that. Now it's a little bit sharper. Okay. In the middle of the spread, we have the Maiden card. The Maiden card represents in my deck several things. She can't just stand for youth, for a teenager, or just, young people. It can stand for education, school, studying. But it can also just, literally stand for something maiden-like, like in the Middle Ages. It could speak of a job. It could speak of how you feel in society sometimes, maybe, or in your personal relationships. Like if you're someone who is, let's just, as an example, say you're living in a shared apartment with other people, not family members, but just with other students, or even grown-ups live in shared apartments. And it could be that you're the only one who's cleaning properly, that you always carry stuff behind other people. Or, you're at work, you have to do other people's work all the time because, if you wouldn't do it, no one would do it. This could also be represented by the Maiden card. And I feel very strongly that this Maiden card in this reading represents your own energy. And of course, it can also represent your own energy if you're a man. So you might feel a little bit like a maiden. That's what I'm getting. I have a feeling you could recently have felt like you're a little bit of a servant to someone. Maybe someone exploited you, even if it's not like heavy exploitation, like someone used you a little bit. Maybe several people have done that. Maybe even, you're a black sheep in your family, which is all kinds of negative meanings of the Maiden card. She also, has some positive meanings, but I feel drawn more to, her role as someone who is being taken advantage of and who is not being properly respected for what she does and for whom she is. or for who she is, sorry. And probably even not being paid fairly. It could be anything for you. It could be all of this for you. Like you're just feeling like you're in this position either in your family or friend circle or amongst your colleagues, or just everywhere you go, you might feel like you're somehow in this position. And this is also what I noticed very quickly, a very spiritual reading. That's the first very spiritual reading I have done today. Like there's a strong guidance around you that is trying to upgrade something in your life, especially within, also outside, but this is not being shown here to me very strongly. The focus is very much on the introspective here. I think especially that there is something feminine, a feminine spiritual presence that might not even be physically around you, that is just really literally a spiritual energy that is trying to get you to this realization. There is also something, it doesn't matter how old you are, something about how you see yourself in the mirror. There is something about physicality, something for some people, even not for everyone, about sexuality that is supposed to be healed. It could be very deep. It could also be just a small thing for you. It varies from person to person. I'm also feeling very drawn to this diamond in her hand. And it makes me think like she is trying to show you that you have some kind of power in your hands. And I really don't like superficial stuff, but I think to a certain extent we are allowed to be a little bit vain. Not vain, just caring about ourselves. And maybe you often see that other people around you, they take very good care of themselves, or even too much, We don't have to overdo everything with creaming and makeup and nails. And if you're a man, you have other standards, there are these beauty standards, and some things are just too much, too exaggerated. But maybe you are someone, when you walk along the street, you often appreciate how other people are styled or how they look. And again, I want to put an emphasis. It's not about superficiality. This is not supposed to become a superficial teaching, but those are all aspects of our life, and it could be that you're often appreciating other people's looks but not your own. That's also a topic that I'm seeing here, and I think there is a teaching for you that is trying to show you that you also have that in your hand, that diamond, that you also have something to give and you're not seeing it. And this moon card is just what I spoke of earlier. There's just this, also if you're a man, there's just this feminine spiritual presence around you that is really being gentle and playful with you. Like, just think of you or of yourself as this stars, and she's just she's so gentle with this star, as if it's her baby. And this spiritual energy is really trying to get you to some realizations. And then we have this Knight card here, and I think this is also your energy, but you are not even seeing yourself as this knight. You are seeing yourself as this maiden. And I think that this reading is supposed for people who are quite loyal, dependable, sincere and honest, authentic in what they do. People who are eager, people who, not all of them and not everyone has to be super physically strong and fit, but the knight is. And for some of you, it could also speak of that. You know, you don't have to go to the gym to brag around and to be prideful and, you know, macho man-like, or I don't know how to call this for women. It's not always vanity. Sometimes it just feels good to be strong and fit. And I think these two, in that sense, these two cards could play together. You know, some people, they are not even aware that they are attractive to other people. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking of a man right now who is very humble and very good looking, but he has such low self-esteem, and he thinks that everyone sees him in a very bad light and perceives him as very unattractive, something like that, but it's not the truth. This is just for some of you. That was one small thing I was getting here as well. But in general, just, you know, I think it's time to realize something about your knight qualities. And don't confuse my knight with the knight or the knights in the classic Waite Tarot. My deck is a little bit different from that. So this person is very trustworthy. This person is very wholeheartedly and passionate in what they do. And the people for whom this reading is meant, they might be like this and they might just not be aware of it, or they don't appreciate that about themselves, or they think that other people don't see that. And we have this rainbow card here, and I think, you know, in my deck it's a very spiritual card, and it's transcending something, it's understanding something, it also stands for harmony. Maybe there's a certain harmony within yourself that will suddenly be born after you had this realization. Like maybe something you felt bad about or guilty about will fade out, and you will just be in this harmony, in this balance of something. The rainbow could also be perceived as a bridge between two stages in life. It's just something very spiritual here going on. It's a spiritual realization that you might soon have. And it could bring a lot of relief. I hope so. At the bottom of the deck, I don't know how important that card still is for your reading. It's the lute. It comes up very often. I like this card. It could just be about music, literally, like, you know, maybe you want to make music or you want to just listen to music. But it also can just stand for playfulness, I feel like maybe this mindset that you were having about yourself, it made you a little bit rigid in some aspects of your life, that it caused some boundaries that you don't really have to have. And this rainbow realization might just transcend these boundaries, and then you might be able to play those strings of your life or of the different aspects in your life a little bit more with ease. Like we can play an instrument with the fear that perfection brings. Like then we are afraid that if we pull the wrong string or play one false note, the whole song will be ruined, but it won't, because the most important thing about this song is the emotion it brings, the message it brings, the vibe it brings. And sometimes we can sing off key or play off key and it's still a beautiful song, more beautiful than another song that is awfully perfectly played and, I don't know, sung by an opera singer with an entirely clean voice that always hits every note perfectly. You know, like sometimes we look at faces, they are just seemingly perfect, but somehow they are boring or without expression. I don't want to downgrade anything or anyone here. It's just something that came to my mind. You know, sometimes perfection is not the most interesting thing. Like, sometimes the true gold lies beyond imperfection. There's some teaching about that, I think. That meaning and expression, authenticity is much more beautiful than perfection. Oh my God, I'm just gonna stop it here. I hope it resonates with someone. Thank you for watching.